I had a quick question about angle constraints.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I'll screen share to see so you can see the problem with it. Oh, well, I don't actually know what the problem is, but so all these angle constraints that we did on all of these allow so that like a mirrored image of this would also work with the constraints. So if you like pull this bottom block too fast, it just flips.
Oh no.
So is there a way you can like angle constrain it to like here so that it only stays at a positive angle, like this one to this one?
No, you can't do maximum and minimum for angle constraints.
I
So,
saw something like for the here, let's see. So when you do something like these two, you can do this and then you can, or you have to do like this and like there's a max and a min. Do you have to like do a third
yeah.
thing or
Yeah, you would have to do a third angle.
huh? Yeah,
But,
I don't really get that.
huh. Wait, zoom out and then move the block again. I want to see.
Yeah, I mean that does happen. I think there's like a way that I kind of fix that, that like I fixed that before. That I'll do that today,
Oh,
so I can show
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Jabe, are you going to do you can do oh my gosh, the mate maximum and minimum constraint, you know?
Yeah, that's what I
Like
was
to the
saying.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
That's what I
you need
assumed.
that too. I didn't do that, but I can do
Yeah.
that one.
All right. Jacob, do you have the sponsor thing or do you want me to do that?
You should do that.
All right. Oh, I can't click on the tab. All right, there we go. So first, thanks to our sponsors, GPS, AXA, XL, Crypto Engineering, and Vision Metals. Here you go. All right.
Let me start.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So. Okay. And so I was told that we want to cover yesterday's stuff again, right? Should I just go through that?
Yeah, just like all the general constraints and stuff like that.
I'll see if anyone has any questions or I'm going too fast with anything today. Just say something, or you can say something in chat. Very shiny. Okay, this is what we have from yesterday. I think, okay, yeah. So yesterday, I think Jonathan, he made the holes in these two burst frame pieces, which, you know, if you were there. Then he put these bearings in using the insert constraint. And to do that, you have to click the inside face of it and then click the out, like the whole edge on the cursor frame, and that uses the insert constraint onto it and puts the bearing in nicely. And then we also constrained, actually, that might have been the day before, but we constrained this screw in into the bearings and through the holes. For all the scissor pieces, you can also like look at previous constraints you do. If you click on a piece to check, and then there's this plus sign, and it shows you all the stuff that's going on with it. And so these insert constraints, I can click on and see that there's been insert here. And so it's with this screwed bar piece, I don't know what you're gonna call that, with the hole that's down here in the scissor piece. And there's angle constraints with, what is it with? Oh yes, it's with this face and the other opposite face so that they're always parallel. And more insert constraints to constrain these holes here. And also he made these pieces flush, that they're always flush with each other. And kind of that mentality of copying the constraints all the way through. So yeah. And then and all these bars are just constrained with these holes and probably flush with these edges. Oh, they're thunder hex, not just circular bars.
And
That's
another
it?
thing, well, yeah, and there's also washers. If you do like click on the back view,
Oh, the
there's,
washers there?
yeah, I
Okay.
put little tiny washers in there.
Oh, okay. So there are
Those are all
also
selectors.
washers in between and that's probably just, you constrain it between, when you're constraining the scissor pieces, you can constrain it between like onto each of the edges, and it'll put it nicely. And the hole of the washer fits nicely with this hole here. Should I bother putting in the bushings today, or?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because that's how we would actually cut it, like in person.
Do we already have those? I'd probably go find that. I can share that process if you want. Sure,
Yeah,
we'll do that.
Well, does
Okay.
anybody have any questions?
Anything else from yesterday? Not yesterday, Friday, that I should go over?
Yeah, actually, can you, I think you told us how to like make the plastic green piece not pass like a certain point. How do you do that?
All right, so I think Jonathan was like a different way to kind of fix the whole sketchy thing that Evan was talking about. And so I think, yeah, it's probably not really constrained right now. So like right now, you can, oh, that's actually, oh, it is constrained. Oh, okay, yeah. So what you have to do, I'm just gonna click here, and it's this, I'm just gonna delete that for now. Oh my God. What is that? Oh, okay. And so how you make that constraint, and I'm just gonna click this face for now, and I don't remember what we did. So you have to, oh, actually, is it like, oh yeah, so you're gonna get just this, and this arrow thing, you click that, and it brings this other menu down here, and you can set limits onto the pieces. And basically what that does is kind of like, the minimum is like the distance between those two pieces, that offset has to be at least that value, and the maximum means that distance between the pieces has to be like, cannot exceed that in the like sort of sketch. So you can still move the pieces around, but just can't exceed those values. So let's say we set a maximum of like, I don't know, we'll just do 10 inches for now, and then a minimum of like 2 inches. Oh, I'll just like the other face, which I'll just do that. Then click OK, and then now I can bring it here. Oh, that's pretty close, but that's fine. And then so this is 2 inches away, and it just won't let me try to like drag it farther than that. And then if I bring it out here, then this is 10 inches, so it can't go farther that way. Yeah, that makes sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Does it still do the sketchy thing that, okay, yeah. That was nice. And so I don't know if everyone was here when Evan was sharing a screen and talking about that, but as you can see, when I just, if you like move things too quickly or do weird things, CAD just kind of like gets confused sometimes. So like if I just do that, obviously it gets a little bit sad. And so I'm gonna try a similar thing to that to kind of fix that. Here, actually, I'm gonna put this at the maximum distance, so I can measure it. Oh man, measure it. Okay, it's like almost 25 inches, like of more than 25 inches, I mean almost 26. Okay, so similar thing, constrain it. This face. Oh, actually, okay. So I think something when you want to do when you're constraining it is because like if you don't go ahead and use like the maximum and stuff, let's say I just like clicked it. Actually, oh, it's fine now. But like if you didn't have it like already constrained and within possible, like if it was possible to get this to like a 0 inches constraint, right now it would automatically try to put it into that constraint. So it doesn't make any sense because it's not really showing it. But if I had, like, if there weren't already constraints there, it would like smash the whole thing all the way down because it would be like, oh, you're trying to make a 0 inch constraint. Even though I haven't clicked OK, it would still try to do that. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to make the faces. It doesn't make a difference now, but sometimes you want to put the offset in first so it doesn't break your CAD before you put it in. So yeah, minimum, maximum. Minimum could just be 0 inches, max I'll make 26 because this other constraint is already sort of keeping that check kind of. So maybe that'll help. Otherwise, oh, it's kind of weird. That's a little bit better, but yeah. So catch the square stuff. Don't move things too quickly because CAD doesn't like that. Okay, and so next we had this is obviously not okay, as Sabrina very kindly pointed out. So and then everyone should go ahead and download that new bracket that we found, and we're going to use that instead so that it is all good. And I think it's just I don't know. There we go. This big piece. And I'm just gonna go ahead and place 2 in. And it's kind of hard because once we delete, actually, I don't know how you make the constraints. It might mess up your CAD if you constrain it to, if like you constrain these holes to the brackets, but if it's constrained to this other hole, that's fine. But, okay, so. I'm just using the mate tool so you can constrain these bottom faces of the 4 holes onto this back side. And then now let's see. Oh, actually, here, I'll do something very nice for Jonathan, make him happier. Open this piece. What I'm going to do is get plane right midpoint between 2 planes. Look at that. Oh wow, plane right through the middle, just for Jonathan. Then take this VersaFrame piece, if it wants to open. There we go. Do the same thing. Midpoint between 2 planes, and select these 2 faces, so the top and the bottom, and now that makes a nice plane right through the middle. And so the reason that I'm doing that is because even though it looks kind of close, this piece actually doesn't line up perfectly with the 2 inches because it's a piece that was made in millimeters. And so to make everything easier, I can constrain, oh gosh, I have to click on the plane. There we go, you have to click on the plane. Sometimes you have to go closer to the edge of any part of the plane to select it. And then I click on that plane. Wow, okay, it's facing the wrong direction. Flush, now, very nice. I'm doing the same thing on this side. And right, there we go. Okay. And use this hole, and constrain that. And then I should fix the other side too. Yep, it does. And when I constrain these 2 faces, could make it flush, but I'm gonna do just a 1/16 tolerance so that we could add a washer there. Very nice. Okay. And so now, oh, why does it look so weird? Doesn't I not do that right? Wait a minute. I'm not thinking from both sides actually. I'm gonna line. Oh, I do. Okay. So yeah, also thinking from this side, this hole. There we go. All fixed. Very nice. And look at that. Not even close. See? We're fine. Perfect. Okay, and so for these, and when we're making this, we're going to have a bolt through. Wait, are we going to solve the bolt go through, Jonathan, or are we just going to have it sort of rest on this bracket?
Yeah, you probably have it go all the way through to the C channel so that it would be like really solid.
Yeah, okay, so when we're making this, we would have a bolt that goes from here through the whole thing and onto the other side of the C channel. So it's supported on both sides from when it's supporting this. Okay, that was a lot of support, but I don't know if that makes sense. But basically, I have to make a hole in this C channel that's the same, like over here, that's like the same distance of where this other hole is. So this we can do component stuff and replacing. Very nice. First, I'm just gonna actually, oh, okay. I like to do it this way because, I don't know, it just like feels safer to me when I'm messing with CAD files and stuff. But I'm just gonna make a new part of the C channel that I can use to edit and just copy and paste that. Some people I know will open the file and then just save as a different thing, but I don't know why, but my brain just doesn't like doing that. Just because I like to be like as safe as possible when messing with the different CAD files. So copy that, paste it. Now we have a new one. I'm just gonna make a hole. Double click it even, and it'll just open in CAD because you have the CAD open. Okay, so now I have to check how use the tools, find the measure tool, go to inspect or tools, and then, oh wow, it's not gonna be nice, is it? Oh, actually, click that edge. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna do that better way. Click on the hole, and there wasn't really a good way for me to select this like a face, because I want to get that different face right there. I could do the line, but it might give me like a weird distance like diagonally to the line. So I'm still gonna just select this other face because it'll give me, it might be weird. Yeah, it'll be weird. So if you click on these coordinates, those right here, then it'll give you a more like exact sort of, oh, why is it the edge of the hole? It's so dumb. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, that is right, I think. Yeah. Wait, is it actually that weird? Doesn't make sense. I feel like this is just not right. Yeah, okay, that is right. So yeah, because millimeters, it's a really weird number, but if you want, you can click on the deltas, and that'll give you the exact sort of like dimensions because it's slightly diagonal from these faces. And so something that's nice with the measure tool is you can even just right click it and copy it. And so now when I go to make the whole dimension distance, I have the number copied, obviously. So make a whole distance from there. I want that. Actually, no, that's right. Because, okay, so because that was a distance from the hole in the bracket to the other side of the Versa frame, that's added an inch from the Versa frame distance. But because this is the distance within the C channel itself, I have to subtract 1 inch because the Versa frame's an inch thick. So we want that. And okay. I'm gonna make the whole 3/8. Sure, I don't know. Are we doing half, John? I think we're doing half. Because bushings. But yeah, I'm gonna make a half inch.
Oh, yeah, it's
that was bad. Yeah. Okay, I messed that up because I didn't constrain the top and the bottom, even though it looks kind of centered. It's probably not that exact. So I'm just gonna add a sketch. And it's this little crosshair right here. Sometimes it's hard to see, but it's fine. And make that 1 inch. There we go. Now it's good. Yep. Okay. And then I'm gonna show you. So now I'm gonna save as. Oh, it's not gonna let me do a different. Okay. I'm just gonna. Okay. Let me cancel that. Sorry. Okay. So just save it as a copy piece for now. And then now I'm gonna do kind of sizzling nice about Autodesk. It can mess up some constraints, so you have to be careful what you're using to this replace tool, but you can click on any piece and then right click it. And in this whole menu, you can go to component and you have some options right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use replace tool. And what that does is it'll sort of kind of whatever piece I'm replacing it with, it'll just put it right where this piece was. And so when you're doing things like this, where you're just kind of like adding a little hole or a little dimension that won't really mess with any other constraints going on in the sketch, then it can be helpful. Okay. I gotta find, oh, this is the wrong folder. Send to the copied, and then, yep, perfect. The hole is right there. And so yeah, I just basically put this right where it was. None of all the constraints still the same, still grounded. And if it did mess with some of the constraints, it wouldn't like really break anything at first. It would probably make like a big warning symbol next to it and say this constraint does not work anymore. And so Autodesk will let you know if stuff is broken or you need to fix things. But because adding hole didn't mess with any constraints, then yeah, it's very nice. And for this one, it might not work as well because the hole might end up over here or over here depending on how we constrained it originally. So, but I'm gonna still try it. If not, I'm gonna have to like make a weird other hole. Oh yeah, we can change it right correctly for this. So yeah, now the hole is there. We look through, it should be right. Yep. Now we can see all the way through both of the holes. Perfect. And so yeah, when you're making components, let's say I want to just like add some, like say for this piece. So in FRC, sometimes we do a thing called Swiss cheesing, and it's just like adding extra holes to get rid of material. And whenever you have like any kind of a weight constraint, it can be really advantageous to add holes within metal. And even though it takes a lot more time machining and stuff, it can be really helpful to decrease the weight of your robot. So let's say we wanted to take material out of this, we could just click, I could make a new part, edit make all the holes in it, and then I can replace the part so that it didn't mess anything up, but now I have the whole thing replaced. Cool. So now everything's fixed. Everything still works. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to show a process now because I don't think this might not be the right size. Oh, that's a washer. And so now I have to get a bushing for this piece right here. And so yes, we could just have a bolt and have the metal turning kind of like along, like against the bolt itself, like a shoulder bolt, but that will probably be a lot more friction than a bushing, and it will probably wear out the metal a lot faster. And so what bushings do is they're kind of like bearings. They're not nearly as freely spinning and frictionless as bearings are, but sometimes they can hold more weight than bearings, and they're a lot smaller in profile. So you can kind of fit it in areas like this, add the bushing in, and then put it through. And so I'm gonna take a scissor piece to see what hole size we use. Okay, so yeah, 1/2 inch. And so now I guess I'm just gonna show the process of how you do that. So McMaster, really great website, just a massive database of everything. Gonna look at bushings. You don't have to do this because I'm just gonna share the CAD file in the chat, but I'm gonna show you what we do. And so I know I want a bushing, and it's kind of weird, but you have to go under bearings. Even if it doesn't look like a bushing, if you click it, it'll give you what you want. And so you can add bushings to flanges, or you can just have the sleeve. For now, I'm just gonna use the sleeve, but so I can click that, I want a sleeve. And for the shaft diameter, that's the shaft that's like on the inside. And I'm gonna want that to be 3/8. So you can click that. It's very nice warehouse. Okay, and then I want the housing ID, and that's like the outer edge of the bushing, but the housing is what's going around it. So the inner diameter of the housing is the outer diameter of the bushing. That's probably kind of confusing. Okay, so this is what we want, and then let me check what length we want, and I'm just gonna, it's like a little piece of bushing that just fits right in here so that the bolt can go through it as well. Measure 2 faces, and obviously, oh, I was right. But obviously, if we want, we can do we can buy a little bigger of a bushing and cut it down if we need to. So this is 1/4 inch. Go back. They have a 1/4 inch. Perfect. And click on product detail. Scroll down on the step file. Save that. Just put in downloads. And Autodesk. open, downloads. Gotta get all the files because I was looking for Inventor files. Open it. And okay, it's gonna convert it. There we go. Nice bushing. We probably could have just made that, but it's always good to just convert it so that we know that we're using the exact dimensions that we would get as if we were buying it. But this is probably simple enough of a part that I could have just, so like sometimes they may even not have CAD files, which is very unlikely, but they have a nice drawing here that just gives me dimensions of the bushing itself. And so I could have just used this drawing in dimensions and CAD'd it myself, but it's always nice to just have it here. So gonna save as, there. I'm just gonna shorten this so it's easier to find. Cool. Put that in there. There we go. So, okay. Now you guys have it. Okay. And I'm gonna need a lot of these. It's gonna take a little bit. So 1, 2, 3. I need like, oh gosh, this is gonna be not fun. Okay. So I have to put one in all of these. I'm gonna like in all of these joints right here for now. And just because it's like super repetitive, I mean, I guess I can put in everything. So might as well. Okay, so each scissor piece has 3 holes, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side, 8, well, 24 bushings. That's not fun. Oh, and these 2 holes over here. The sleeve bearing, as they call it, just make a lot. Might be too many. Okay, so I'm gonna use the insert constraint because it'll make kind of like 2 constraints in one almost. And so I click this because I want the blue part, the bushing, to be inside the outer piece. Click that face, and then there. Oh yeah, there we go. Now do that like 24 more times. Is anyone confused about anything that I did before this, or are we caught up? Should I go back and reconstrain something? Anyone want to see? Or good? Oh, I just realized. Okay. Oh, I need the inside faces too. Okay. So, oh, I should all, that's it, right? Okay. Now I need these inside faces, and so for the middle ones, and like this one that's kind of overlapping, they're being covered by this thunder hex, not thunder hex. And so what I'm gonna do is, actually I don't need this now. So I'm gonna select these, the ones that are covering the inside of them. And for now, I'm gonna right click it and then uncheck visibility. Now they've all disappeared. And then it'll show up like this because invisible, and so it's showing the part is still existing and constrained, but it's just not showing it right now. But that allows us to do is constrain everything. Ooh, that's the wrong one. And I'm gonna need more. I think that's it for that side. But yeah.
Do they have to be unlocked from rotating, or should we lock them from rotating?
Oh, I remember John saying that. It does not matter for this. I mean, I think so for this piece, as Jonathan said, if you leave it unlocked, then obviously it can rotate. And I think Jonathan described it as like it's another thing Autodesk to sort of like render whenever you're moving things around your sketch. And basically, so like when I slide this around, Autodesk can like decide to either like rotate it or not. So it might be better to lock from rotating just to like help your computer a little bit, and it's just less things to render overall in the sketch. I'm kind of going really fast, but it doesn't. So basically, I'm saying it doesn't really make a big difference, but it might be better to lock from rotating because it doesn't need to rotate for any reason. It's not necessary. I'm just gonna put it. Oh, I can see this too. Okay. So 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Also, for the actuating bar, are we gonna put them there as well? Because then we
This
need
part
to like shrink
right here.
it. No, in the other end. No,
This
no,
end?
no. I mean like on the bottom, the one that actually slides.
Oh, these?
Yeah.
Yes, I am going to still do that.
So we're gonna have to shrink the bar. Oh, never mind. We don't have it constrained inside. Never mind. It's a pole.
Okay.
I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, I think, yeah, because like how the guy did it in the video that we're referencing, I think he might have had it attached. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, we're doing it a little bit differently from that. I know what you're talking about. So, oh, yeah, it's already on that side. Oh yeah, this thing, that's nice. Here, I will start locking and rotating too. Oh no, that's right. So now for these, I'm gonna do the same thing and select with these brackets so you can see it better. And oh, that's so lame. Fine, I'll click over here. There we go. Visibility off. And yeah, for those, I was also just shift clicking them, just allows me to click multiple things. And when I like change an aspect of one of them, it'll just make them both invisible. And shift click it, I'm just like clicking on one, and then I'm holding shift while I click the other, and that just clicks the second one without deselecting your other clicks. If that makes sense. Okay, I think we have everything good. I'm just going to. Oh, that's right. I'm going to control for that. Okay, yeah. So when you're in this menu, if you shift click, it'll select the whole field between them. If you use control, then it'll just do the individual thing that you're clicking on. And that's it. Visibility, and everything's back. Look at that. And we have all our bushings in. Correction that matters. Okay. Now for the top. So to do this, I'm going to do this a really fast way. I could just recad the entire bottom, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these things that I know I'm going to need again. Not the scissor pieces or anything, because I don't mess up if I copy that as well. But picking all of those faces and this, and then I'm gonna Control C and Control V. Now I have another one, same exact thing. And very nice about it is I can move around all of the constraints. So basically, like anything we select and copy together, it will like also copy the constraints that are sort of like interrelating those pieces. So because, for example, this is constrained to the space, I copy both those things, it'll keep that constraint as well. So yeah, everything's here. Perfect. But as you know, we don't have this screw mechanism going on, so I'm going to need to get a regular VersaFrame piece that does not have these holes in it. I mean, could leave it, but I'm not going to do that. I don't know. Do we still have? Okay, no, we added it. Okay, so here. I'll do this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open one of the VersaFrame files, save as, and then VersaFrame top, and that. So here I'll look in my files. And so what I was going to do is create another file of the VersaFrame at the top. And so that's the other way that a lot of people say they do it, is they just open the same file, save as a different name, and they'll create a separate instance of the file. Instead of how I was doing it, where I would go into the folders, select it, copy it, and then paste it like that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and rename that too, because that looks kind of dumb. With hole. I'm just going to leave this regular 16-inch piece there in case we need it later. I mean, I know we won't, but like for counting purposes in general. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that hole. So when this pops up, basically this is asking, we might have gone over this before, but what this is asking is like, with the feature of the actual hole that's being made and extruded is also this sketch, like the underlying sketch behind it. And it's asking, do I just want to delete the feature of sort of the actual extrusion of the hole, or do I also want to delete any other sketches that are defining it, or other sketches that I'm using to make that feature, so to speak? And because I don't need that sketch for this, I click OK. But sometimes, say, you just want to, like, let's say you made some extrusion of like a square, but you're like, oh shoot, I want to make that square a little bit like, I don't know, that's not a good example, but like, let's just say you wanted to delete some extrusion you made, but you wanted to edit the sketch and do other things and make it and select more faces instead of just deleting the whole sketch and starting over. You can uncheck that box so that the sketch isn't deleted when you just delete the feature. Okay. And regular VersaFrame piece, I'm gonna save it, and then I'm going to do the same. Click it, I'm gonna find it. Actually, okay, now do that. Okay, there, component, replace, VersaFrame top. What? Okay, I'm gonna set that. That's not sketchy. Oh, okay. So for this, when I replaced it, that was saying that it basically lost some of the, yeah. So you can see here, this is what I was talking about with the little warning symbol. It's telling me that these two constraints are what I had before, but they're messed up. And you can tell because they can just move these pieces around. And so, yeah. I clicked accept there because I kind of knew like that it wasn't going to break anything. I mean, it did, like it didn't break anything like super big. And so I clicked accept anyway. But yeah, so I'll just have to reconstrain that. I'm just going to go ahead and delete these and reconstrain this in a second. Okay, and component, replace, top. There we go. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, so the reason the replace didn't work is, so as I was saying before, when you're replacing it and you're changing something that's like in the new part that the other part didn't have, it's going to break. And so what this part didn't have is that plane that I made in this one. Because I made a plane that I used to constrain these pieces in the middle. And when I took away that plane, I just got confused because it was like, where's that plane? So I gotta do that. Could have done it before if I remembered, but it's fine. So I'm just gonna remake that. And plane is in the middle. There we go. Now it should be pretty easy to reconstrain these. And move the face. Oh, that's hard to see. Face first. Oh, I'm just gonna move it out of the way. There. Actually, did I already constrain it? I don't think so. Okay. Seems super sufficient. Okay. And now constrain these. Ooh. Like the plane. Like that plane. It's kind of small, but it's possible. Get the edge. Get that edge. Oh, that one's facing the wrong direction. Mess that up. And get that one. Yeah, okay, this is the plane. Add that, make it flush, and then okay. Okay, now yeah, okay. Click that, constrain it onto that hole. Nice. Apply, and then that, constrain it to this hole. There we go. And then I'm just gonna make these two C channel parallel. Bam, now it's on top. Oh, these are really weird because, yeah, okay. Now I gotta constrain these to a 16th away, tolerances. Later on, I might change that if I found a washer I like for that specific hole, but yeah. Okay, and now look at that. This should work. Yep. Wow, guys. Now we have like, it's kind of laggy, but it works. And you can see how the mechanism works. This is staying parallel. These are going up, lifting this table up. Now, oh, okay, I have time. So I'm gonna make the final little table that goes on top. I don't remember the dimensions. Expect that. That's 18 by 15. Okay. File, new, standard, sketch. Gosh, dang it. Okay. I think it was 18 by 15, but I'm gonna check again because memory is just not okay. 18, 15. Oh, that's right. I wanted to, that's how I can think of these. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, instead of making the wood board, I mean, obviously when you're making this, you're gonna make your own. This is just preference of how you wanna make the board that goes on top. But I'm gonna have a 1-inch offset sort of around the edge. And for that, I'm just gonna add 2 inches on each side. So 18 by 15. So instead we're gonna make it 17 by 20. Finish the sketch. extrude it. Sure. I don't know. I guess some half-inch plywood we'll use, I guess. And yeah. And then gonna do some fancy things because we're obviously gonna sand it down so that we have a chamfer around the edges because, you know, we're cool like that. And sure, 1/8 inch. And I've changed the material. They don't really have wait, do they? No, they don't. Okay, they don't have plywood as a material. You might be able to import materials if you were to like make a material online. Well, I don't know if you can just make it, but like people might have made the material plywood and you might be able to import that. For now, I'm just gonna select some nice wood. Import that, look at that. And we got a little sanded chamfer edge. Beautiful. Save it. Plywood. Top. Save that. And assemble. Place. Constrain. Tops. And so when we were making the tabletop, we would, like when we're actually assembling it, we would we'd probably screw it or bolt this down from this tabletop into some of the verse frame holes. Jonathan, should I do that or is that worth catting?
Not really, because
Okay.
I mean, it's just kind of given. You're just gonna put a bolt through there. So.
Yeah. So we're just gonna put bolt through this, and we're not gonna bother catting that, especially in FRC. Don't have time to cat a bunch of tedious holes that we can make, and so I had a 1 inch offset, and so that's the wrong way. Actually, here, I'll leave it so you can see, because that would be hard to see in real life. So I was just clicking it, right? And I was like, oh, I know, I want a 1 inch offset. But look at that. That's offset in some like dumb direction. Well, not dumb, but like Autodesk is just dumb. So if make a negative, and because negative is the opposite, so it'll just, make it very nice for you. I need to edit that. Make it negative, and there we go. Wow. Hose kind of getting set. Okay. It's better to move from this block, I found. It breaks it the least. But yeah, there we go. And I know it's not like actually screwing and moving it and stuff, but that's the idea. You would put a draw on this, screw it, moves this backwards or forwards, depending on which way you're turning it. And it would either slowly bring it down, or slowly bring it back up. So you can place a robot on here and then screw it, and it'll just make the robot levitate. Wow. So yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Need me to go back? Cat, anything else? Good. Jonathan, are we good? In chat, everything?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll stop sharing for now.
All right. So if y'all have any other questions, then you can just Slack us. So we'll see you on Wednesday.